So hello, welcome back guys on my channel. So today my video topic is not going to be reroll guide or any other character pooling guide. Today's video going to be the Wuthering Waves optimization issue. Now since the game launch, this optimization issue has been a biggest problem into this game. They claimed that they already fixed this optimization for most of the part, but as a player myself who experienced this game from my low config device, I cannot even see it through my eyes. Now you might be thinking that what is this guys even talking about, because the game is totally running fine on my PC. Yes, if the game is running fine on your PC, then it does not mean that game is working fine on everyone. Now the issue is not actually me, but the other PC who also have a high config, they cannot even run the game properly. Properly means I'm not talking about getting 2 FPS or 3 FPS. They have a build which can even consistent to give you more than 100 FPS, but most of the time their FPS goes back to down to 50 to 40, which does concern, because if you paid a $1,000 or $2,000 on a PC and that PC cannot even handle a free gacha game where the money comes from the pulling the characters by your actual money, is the PC's fault or is your game's fault? That's the main question here. Now, when the game was launched, so many accusation was happening at the same time. First one was the memory leak issue. Well, the memory leak issue was like that if your graphics card have a VRAM, that VRAM limit was exiting when the game was running on your PC. When the VRAM limit exits, it does cause a huge amounts of stutter and also lag to your game, so you cannot even play it properly. So after sometimes later, when a new patch it dropped in Wuthering Waves, the lag and also performance issue increasing day by day. That's the main thing. Well, they already fixed so many things, but that fix is not even that of a big thing which can even say that it is a best optimized game that have ever released into this gacha space. If I talk about any other good contender, I would suggest you that the However's games are one of those games who have a huge great optimization, and also a new game which already came in 2026 is none other than the Arknights Enfield. Now as I mentioned already, the However, so many people would be triggered if you are one of those Wuthering as actual Kurobots. Then you might be thinking that why is this guy talking about However's, because that game does not even put a same number of amount of animation as much as the Wuthering Waves. That's a very valid take and also valid question. Now what's the difference between these two games? Wuthering Waves animation and also Wuthering Waves graphics and also other texture things, physical, especially the interactive with the environment. As you can see that I'm just running this game at lowest as possible. It is not even a recommended settings for this game. I just lowered it through the engine.ini to get more better FPS, because I do not have a dedicated GPU. I'm running it 5600 GT with its iGPU. Now in However's any other games, the amount of animation is not even comparable to these Wuthering Waves games. Now if I just compare it with the Zen Legend Zero, now Zen Legend Zero is not even a fully open world, just like the Wuthering Waves. It can be considered as a semi-open world games. Same as HSR, who is also considered as a semi-open world game, and the HSR is not even that of a graphically high intensive game as much as the Wuthering Waves is. Now if I compare with the Arknights, which is a recent game, then it could be a very valid comparison. Arknights Enfield is a mostly or highly anticipated game since the game was teased back around 4 or 5 years ago, and it's launched after 5 years later or 6 years later in 2026. Now the game is no joke when it comes to the graphical improvement. It has the highest amount of animation and also highest amount of graphics in any kind of gacha game exists into this gacha space. Now how this game can even have that much of a good optimization where Wuthering Waves does not? First and foremost things comes of the beta testing number. In every However's gacha game, they do 3 times of beta testing before the global launch. It is also same goes for to the Arknights Enfield, who also did the 3 beta testing before the global launch, and to make a proper release for every player and have a good experience on their day one. But when it comes to Wuthering Waves, they did not even do it. They just do it only 2 testing, and they just release this game as much as they want it to be. And for this a messy launch, the game was totally unplayable when it was released, and after so many updates and after so many changes, it somehow make it as a playable things, but it is not even that of a good thing. First problem was comes of that you have to play these Wuthering Waves on your SSD. Now so many people are going to be point out to me that, hey man, this is 2026, each and every game required install to SSD to play properly, and especially if it is a open world game, you have to install the game into the SSD because the texture and other things need to be load faster to play the game perfectly. So Wuthering Waves is not even exceptions. So you have to forcefully, I'm not talking about optional, you have to play it forcefully or install Wuthering Waves in your SSD. Otherwise you cannot even get the proper experience. So many people are getting a huge difference when they just move into SSD. So as myself who cannot even afford a SSD, need to afford the SSD to play this Wuthering Waves. And it was my first time that I have to buy a SSD to play a certain game, and I didn't even use SSD before. I was using hard disk to play all the games like gacha games and also all the online multiplayer games. That was the first thing. After that, the improvement was actually really visible, and I thought their 1.0 patch was somehow manageable to clear with my current config. But after some time later, when a new patch comes on, the lag was immense and it is totally unplayable for the most of the part. There was one kind of problem was happening, and that problem was if in a part of a single region I can even get a 30 or 35 FPS, but when I just change the region place to a normal region, especially if I just give you an example of this site which is a Laharohi, in here it is called this Starok Academy, and if I just go to the Maubro Desert, you are seeing that what is actually happening here that is causes so much lag into this particular region. I have no idea. It could be handled by the game perfectly, but they're just following the route of these flexing their animation to the other gacha games, and also player not even raising their voice, because you know that why they are not raising their voice, because this is a gacha game and every other gacha player is a so down bad to the gambling addiction. So Wuthering Waves is already cracked the code, and they know that if we just bribe the players with some few amounts of pool, they will be shut down, and the player who really wanted to play, and if they cannot even play, they just move forward. That's it. Why it is happening, why the player is moving instead of playing it, because they don't even have a really good sign of improving the game after the feedback from the player who cannot even play it. That's the basic thing of this whole Wuthering Waves situation. Besides than that, other aspect of it is there was a huge amount of toxic fan base in Wuthering Waves. Well, they are totally from the Genshin Impact, because when the Genshin Impact was released, so many toxic players totally defending the game despite of the first anniversary was totally disaster. So in here, that is also the same case. And that Genshin Impact toxic fan bases totally goes for to these Kuro games, and they are the totally gatekeeping to this game from the others. And there is another problem in here. When it comes to lowering the resolution, it does not even let you to lower your resolution from your native screen. If I just somehow try to lower it down from my native resolution, which is a 1080p, from the 720p, it does not even letting me do it. It just goes into a window mode, which is the main problem right here. Because if I just called you to other Hoyoverse game and also Arknight's Enfield game, they let you to lowering down your resolution. But in this game, if you just try to lower your resolution, you have to either go for the window mode, otherwise you won't even have options. Now so many people might be suggest me to use the lossless scaling. Well, this lossless scaling cannot even also does not apply into this game. I actually don't even know what they are trying to pull it off, because as I already give you a total explanation, the Starok Academy and also Maubro Desert, these two part of this Laharoi region have a huge amount of performance drops. Like when I just change my location to Starok Academy, let me show you. As you can see that it does have a huge amount of obstacle and also particle around here, but it is not even lagging a bit. I can even have a playable FPS where I can experience the game. But when I just teleport to the Marlborough Desert, you can see the FPS difference through my gameplay and also my movement of that character. I don't even know what is actually happening in here which causes that much of a FPS drop from the previous part of this region. So I think this need to be concerned and this need to be fix it, and they are not even fixing it, because in their 3.1 live stream they're telling to that they are actually commitment to the player base that we are actually fixing the game and we are making it much more playable and also much more optimized to the all player base who is trying to play this game perfectly or without any kind of hassle. As you can see that this this is the new region where they released and also coming along with the new character which is the Amath, and this region is also the same as the Mabro desert. When I just shift into this part of the area, my FPS is dropping a huge amount of it. I actually have no idea what is causing it to dropping that much. I cannot even enjoy the game perfectly. What is this happening into this game? So I guess that's all for my ranting about this game. I think most of the people won't be agreeing with me because they are going to mock me that you have not enough a good PC, you have a config issue. So I guess if your config is not even letting you to play this game, I guess you should move forward it. No need to spread the negative towards the game. Yes, you can even say that if I don't even like about this game, I guess this is my best time to drop the game. Nonetheless, I guess that's all for this video. If you like it, leave a like, and also if you are also facing the same issue just like mine, drop a comment about it. So see you on the next video. Peace.